Hey, y'all, and welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas Ornaments. This is day 5. Today, we're taking 3 canvases that I got at the Dollar Tree and some joint compound, and we are going to make some textured art. We're going to have these beautiful angels to decorate our Christmas tree. Hit that subscribe button so that you can learn how to transform your furniture, your home, and most of all, you. So, we'll start with those 3 canvases, and we're going to give them each a nice deep background so that the angels will pop up, really pop off that darker color in the background. So I'm using Muscadine Wine by Dixie Belle Paint for the first color. It's kind of a cranberry-ish maroon burgundy color. I don't know how exactly to describe it, but it's going to work perfectly with the color scheme that I'm doing this year. And the next one, I'm using the color Peacock because just wanted a little bit differentiating color than that deep teal to give it a little more interest. And make sure you're getting all of the edges of those canvases as well so that when you're hanging on the tree, you don't see the white edges. And the last one is Antebellum Blue. Then I'm just going to take my spatula and I'm going to kind of scrape the color on to give that background just a little more interest. So what we're going to do is take our joint compound and that spatula, and we're just going to start creating some wings. The awesome part about using the joint compound is that it's really forgiving. You don't have to do, it doesn't have to be perfect for one, and you can kind of keep playing with it till it feels right to you. You don't have to get it perfect the first time. So you're just going to kind of keep spreading it on until the wings start to look just right, and it looks kind of like feathers floating up there in the sky. Now we'll add a little more to create the head of the angel. And now on to the body, or the dress, if you will. I made the dresses quite full. You could make them however you chose, but I just thought it looked more flowing. The poofier the bottom of the dress looked. It's just my opinion. And now we'll go ahead and create some arms on there as well. You could make the arms come out or clasped in the middle like I am. And we're going to do the same thing on the third canvas. If you notice, I did the wings just slightly different on the second one, and the third one's just slightly different again. They don't all have to look identical. I didn't want them to look identical either. It takes about 12 to 24 hours for this to dry, depending on your humidity levels. Ours takes a little longer and depends on also how thickly you spread that joint compound. No, I decided that for these arms, I wanted them to be a little more 3D than recessed. So I'm just kind of dabbing it on with the end of that spatula, trowel, whatever you want to call it. Artist trowel, I guess you call it. The fun part about these is they don't have to be precise. Now we're going to start adding some color. I thought I wanted them all to be really colorful, but as I got going, I realized I it just was I wasn't feeling it. It felt too dark and too muddy. Just and there wasn't really any you couldn't tell the wings from the bottom and the dress and it was I wasn't feeling it. So I put that one aside, let it dry, and then I'm coming in with some white paint to do these other two. I'm using Dixie Belle's cotton. It's a bright white, and I'm just painting in where the joint compound is. And the reason being is that the joint compound kind of has a yellowish tint to it. And and then I'm also going to, you'll see here in just a second, going to add some depth to that white as well. So taking some drop cloth and I'm just creating some shadows and some depth in the to kind of create the folds of the fabric and whatnot. I'm just dipping the very tip of this angled brush into that paint. And then the fact that the white paint that was there before was still wet, it blended in really nicely. And I just did the same thing on the other white angel. And then we're creating just a little bit of a head shape around there as well, giving the head just a little bit of shadowing. Nothing too precise, nothing too drastic. Now we'll get back to the colorful angel. I realized it was just too dark. So I'm coming in with some light pink and we're going to try to lighten her up a bit. I started with just kind of, let's see how this feels. Just trying to add a few lines of lighter pink on the bottom. I didn't, like I said, I'm not wanting this to be overly precise or um, too intricate. I want it very free flowing and so I'm just kind of playing with it at the moment. It's starting to feel better. It's definitely lighter. So now I'm going to add some of that peony and because before I was using some of the muscadine wine and the dark teal and the lighter teal and it was way too dark, way too muddy. There wasn't enough lightness and our angels need to be light, right? So I'm just taking that peony and kind of blending it in with the lighter pink that was there from before. And we're just adding some depth and shadow and it's starting to feel better. It's starting to come together much better. So we'll add a little more lightness again just to brighten her up just a little bit. And at that point, I also realized I think I'm going to keep the wings pink and then her dress will be blue so that there was more distinguishing um, area between the wings and the body. So I'm going to take some sea glass. It's the color sea glass, and we're just going to add that to the bottom of the dress. And now we'll add some of that, not the deep teal, but it's a brighter teal, and the color is called Peacock from Dixie Belle Paint again. And we're just adding like the folds and the gathers of the fabric of her dress. And then we'll just paint her arms in. And it's feeling much, much better. And then we'll take a little bit of that pink color and a little bit of white to kind of bring some brightness to her face. And I figured I'd give a few highlights also to the dress with some of that white cotton. Trying to hit a lot, mainly the raised areas. Now we're going to hit all of the raised areas because this is texture art after all, and we're going to hit those with the gold gilding wax, and that's really just going to make it pop off the page. Adding a little to the edges just to make those wings sparkle and glow and shimmer. When the lights from the tree hit it, it'll give that little shimmer and sparkle. Now we're going to add her halo in there. And this is very abstract, so don't worry about it being too precise. Add a little bit of gold to the raised areas on the dress. And then her arms. And a little to the background. Give the background a little bit of shimmer. The gilding wax has to be put on last because it is an oil-based product. And the water-based paint won't stick to it. So that you definitely have to put the gilding wax on last. Goodness, getting those words out all at once is a lot. And then we'll do the same to the other white angel and the colorful angel. Now we'll add a little dab of hot glue so that we can fasten some of this thin gold ribbon on there as a hanger. And then I took a little piece of thicker ribbon just to hold over the lines to keep it nice and flat and secure. Now we'll add another little dab of hot glue on the front so that we can add a bow. Continuing on doing the same thing with the other angels. And there they are, 3 beautiful angels to add to my Christmas tree this year. So excited. I've actually been wanting to do this project for a while, and I'm so glad I've actually been able to make it come to fruition. Have you tried textured art before? It is so much fun. You can do so many fun designs and really awesome looking artwork with it. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed this video. We'll see you tomorrow with day 6.